right, Toby. Tell me what happens in The Return of XL.
XL, being just a funny little head right now, somehow breaks out of prison and he finds XR and takes over his body, thinking that that's how he gets the heart that he heard from the last episode he showed up in. And it's a little fucked up and weird.
Once again, you are frighteningly close to a different episode.
That's crazy.
Hello, and welcome to Infinity and Rewind, a Buzz Lightyear Star Command rewatch, review, contextualization podcast. I'm your co-host, Victor.
I'm your other co-host, Toby.
And I'm Alexander. I'm also here.
We're back, and this time we watched The Return of XL. So, Toby, what happened in this episode?
So what happened in this episode is the team goes to a planet to help out with a distress signal. In the middle of Buzz trying to tell the team what they need to do, what to keep an eye out for, XR is not paying attention. And so gets very distracted when the team heads out. He's just like, I don't know where I'm supposed... My Delta or what? Also, what do we do here? And as he's kind of mumbling to himself, he passes by XL, who is just hanging out and has an extended evil laugh and scream off.
He's laughing, XR is screaming. They can cut back and forth between them like 4 times.
Yeah.
And then XR just...
So, how are you?
Yeah, it's just very casually, yeah, hey man, how you been?
It's like no insincerity or fear or anything, just like very casually, just...
Like he's just catching up over Thanksgiving.
I mean, he might as well be, that is his brother.
Yeah.
Which XR, or XL, says like, oh, I've just been in jail, fucker.
In jail, plotting your demise.
Figuring out what the hell you have that I don't have, and it's this thing. The
AFD.
AFD.
Yeah, this is a direct follow-up to XL, which ended with Commander Nebula, as XL was being dragged away by other space cops, would just kind of reach down. He was like, XR, you've got one thing that he doesn't. You've got heart. And XL did not hear that part. He's just like, what has he got that I don't? And he's screaming as he's dragged away.
In prison, he's still got access to XR schematics somehow and just analyze bit by bit what the LGMs put in him that they didn't put in XL. And turns out it's one device that's labeled AFD, coincidentally over where your heart would be if XR were human.
And so he pulls out this wild drill that has many teethy bits on it.
Drill with teeth.
And goes after XR and manages to drill a hole into him just before the team gets back to find him.
While this is happening, XR does have the brilliant idea of the geysers that are very dangerous and have a tell about when they're about to go off. I can use that to my advantage, and he does a very cool move pushing XL into the geyser.
Oh yeah.
However, it's a bit too late for him, and he did get his thing stolen and didn't even realize until the team showed up.
Yeah, they were just like, you saved yourself, that's cool. Oh my god, there's a gaping hole in your chest.
It's just a giant freaking hole in this dude.
Mm-hmm.
And so they take him to the LGMs, which they are like, oh no, he's fine.
There's no damage.
There's no damage, just a big old hole, whatever.
They don't
Yeah.
bother to repair the hole at all, I notice.
Yeah.
No, they're just like, it's fine.
Yeah, they're like, nothing important's missing, no damage. But every time they ask them what an AFD is, they just kind of mumble and get embarrassed. They're like,
They don't even they try not to show any emotion in this one about what an AFD is. Buzz is like, can it be replaced? And the LGMs are just like, Buzz is like, okay, so it was important. Whatever. Who cares? You're a ranger. You can kill. You can still. You can kill.
You can kill.
You can still do your job.
Kill.
XR is just like, oh, yeah, no, clearly this thing was important. It made me who I am. What the fuck, man? Just having a real bad mood about it.
Oh yeah.
If you were compared to your sibling who determined that the only thing that makes you different is, say, your hand or something, and he chops off your hand and takes it, and everyone's expecting you to just go on with your life.
If he takes out a random organ of yours, everybody's like, it's fine. Who gives a shit?
We don't even know what that does.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And you're just like, what? What?
I have a hole in me. Something was stolen. I don't know what it is or what it does, and no one's caring.
Yeah, sibling behavior.
Yeah.
XR ends up drinking at a diner a bunch of oil. So you know it's okay. You can show this to kids. It's fine. And Buzz very much tries to pep talk him into like being okay about it, which doesn't work very well. He is like, you know what, Buzz, you're right. I'll buck up. And then he leaves. He literally, like, as Buzz is turned away from XR and is just like talking to the team, just like, yeah, no, he's gonna be fine. He's just like, bye. Before he like jetpacks off.
I'll do something about the situation.
Mira and Booster are like, hey, Buzz, turn around. Whips him around to see like XR take off, and he's just like, I fucked up. XR takes off to Trade Planet, which
Trade World.
You were pointing out that there's all of 3 things that you see about Trade World, which is like the ocean, traffic, and like this one city. He's on Trade World. He's trying to figure out what the hell he can do and where he can find this part. And he runs across the informant from a couple different episodes, whose name is...
Crumford Lorak.
He's trying to do the whole, like, informant, just like, oh, I don't know. Could use a little bit of money to refresh my memory. And XR is just like, here's some money.
Here's all of my money.
Here's all of my money. I do not care. Give me the information. He's just like, yeah, okay, all right. Damn, you don't let me have any fun. Anyways, you're a sucker. Bye.
Crumford Lorak does drop the name The Fixer and leaves because immediately after he leaves, huge ad plays right behind XR of The Fixer saying, come to my place of business at this specific location and walk-ins are welcome. And XR's just like, oh, I lost all my money.
So he goes to The Fixer,
who is the friendliest on Trade World.
Friendliest, not necessarily friendly.
He's like, well, if you want this part, you can work for it, be my little delivery boy, and go to the most dangerous part of this entire planet.
This entire galaxy. Booster later says it has the highest violent crime rate in that sector. Killerville.
Oh yeah, Killerville.
XR comments on it too, like, you can't go there by yourself. You will get mugged at best.
XR is just like very desperate to get his AFD, so he's just like, okay, I'll do that. And Fixer calls the guy whose delivery needs to be made, and
it's XL. So he toddles off to deliver that part, and the rest of the team finds Crumford Lorax, get the information, goes to the Fixer, and has the scariest moment with Mira.
The lighting in this moment, the camera angle, they are following up to what she learned in The Planet Destroyer.
Where she can stick her hand in someone's head and read their thoughts. They have a fun little montage of trying to find him.
Which has a lot of very interesting poses. This whole episode was actually a lot more dynamic than some of the past episodes. It was really cool. So they have this little montage. Well, first they kind of don't know where to look at that point. They're just like, dang, where the hell do we find this guy? And XR just kind of starts walking past them.
Just toddles by.
And they're like, wait, hold on. What are you doing? Stop. And he's like, nope, I have shit to do. I am out of here. They have this really phenomenal flight action scene where XR actually pulls a really cool maneuver where he closes his wings, flies through some guy's apartment, tells him his, like, coffee pot is still on, and escapes the team, only to make his way to XL's little hideout, where he finally figures out, oh, this is for you. Oops. Gets captured and thrown onto what was a Star Command G-Force simulator that he's now turned into a G-Force simulator to kill you.
The centrifugator. It's just if somebody took the limiter off of mission space at Disney World.
And also, like, any, like, sort of shielding that you would have to protect yourself from being spun around very, very fast.
So, XL has him on that. And the team finally catches up, only to get bubbled and captured. XR is just like, it's whatever. I don't have a thing that makes me different anymore, so, like, who cares? Only for Buzz to finally reveal what an AFD is. And it's an air freshener.
Because the LGMs thought he smelled bad.
So that was the thing that they got so embarrassed about. And so with that, XR tries to escape by cutting the little cuffs that were on him, only for that thing to fly off. And then he remembers that he has a pocket full of change.
Going 2,000 miles an hour, I believe he said?
Yep, that he is able to fling around at such a speed that it pops the bubble that the team is in, breaks the centrifugator, and just pummel XL.
Like, the coins pierce through the metal of the device controlling the centrifugator. They do not, like, pierce through XL at all. He is totally fine. He picked out the good body parts for himself.
Yeah, don't worry about it. He's coming back for another episode. And so he escapes, he saves the day, and he ends up getting a medal from the commander, which he then bothers the commander about like, hey, do you think I smell? Am I stinky? Do I smell?
Can you come back and smell me? And then in our version of the episode, the bumper afterwards talks over whatever Commander Nebula's final line was. So we'll never know whether or not Commander Nebula thinks he's stinky.
It'll be a mystery. It's the vagueness that keeps the episode. But that is the episode.
And with that, let's head to the intermission.
Let's go.
Hey, welcome to the intermission. This time we've got a fun little exercise in creative writing. Tobi is going to take some prompts for fanfiction titles, and he is going to write the Buzz Lightyear fanfiction, since that's effectively what he's been doing with every episode title for the show.
Now I get to really flex my brain muscles.
I want to give you one of my actual ones.
So titles of actual fanfics you've written.
Ones I've written, yeah. This one you might be familiar with because I think it's a song that They Might Be Giants either made or covered, which is 25 O'Clock. The main character of it was Nosferatu with good emphasis on XR.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Here's what happened. It's not a fix-it fic. What's the word I'm looking for? A fix-it fic for Nosferatu would be really funny because the fix-it is redemption would be fun.
Well, I don't know what you're trying to say. Like, what
are you fixing?
I'm not fixing anything just yet.
Yeah,
a
fix-it fic is where you take something that happened in canon and then change it so it's not like as depressing or like whatever you're trying to fix about it.
Yeah. No, I'm looking, the word, an insert-y fic, it's like when they did a fade to black on a scene, and then you get to fill in the blanks.
A missing scene fic.
Yeah, missing scene fic.
Yeah.
So this is like, well, Nosferatu is taking over Star Command, and just after he gets done with the call, where they are all, Nosferatu, XR, and Zurg were having just like a laugh together.
Mm-hmm.
So it ends, he ends the call, and it's just him and XR just like alone in Star Command. And they start talking just because like he's just kind of waiting to see like, okay, so am I going to take over Star Command while these chucklefucks are like out in space now, or... And they just end up chatting and like having like a really nice chat where Nosferatu kind of realizes like, oh, I like this funny little guy. Oh, I like this little funny guy. I need to send him out to space immediately. Okay, we gotta take him. We're going to blast him out to space, and I'm not going to think about it. But he's going to be thinking about it for a really long time. Plus 25 hours.
Nice.
Amazing. Okay. Another one I wrote, I'm going to give you different characters and who actually stars in this one.
Okay.
Another one I wrote is a very edgy, stupid title called Left Out in the Cold.
Okay.
And the characters that I'm going to give you are Mira and let's say you pick another one.
Warp.
Mira and Warp.
Okay.
Go with that.
All right. So this isn't actually an AU. This is an AU where the team before Warp defects goes to climb a mountain. It's supposed to be like a team building exercise, but as things kind of go through and they kind of start trekking up this mountain, people of the team start disappearing, and Mira's just like, something's fucked up around here, only to find out near the end when Warp is about to send Buzz down the mountain that he's the one that's been like slowly offing the team. And it ends in a really cool fight in the snow where Mira saves Buzz's life.
Amazing.
Yes.
Again, changing the characters here. The title of the fic is Life's Not Fair, and I want you to pick your favorite ship from the show that you've created so far and run with it.
Ooh, all right. So we're gonna do Warp and Buzz, and you know what it is? It's a rival coffee shop AU.
Yes! Yes!
And life is not fair because Buzz's fucking coffee shop is popping for no reason because it's such a plain Jane motherfucking coffee shop. And Warp's over here with like a neon, like, goth coffee shop, and he's just like, this is bullshit. This motherfucker's gotta go down.
I'd go there. If it's neon goth, I'd go there.
Oh yeah. So he has this cool ass coffee shop, and he goes over to like Buzz's coffee shop to see what the fuck's going on and start shit. And he tries the coffee, and the coffee's like surprisingly really good. And he's just like, okay, now I gotta figure out what the fuck is up with this dude. And so it turns into a slow burn frenemies to lovers.
Amazing.
I love that.
20 chapters, all long as shit.
I did realize that there is one that I can give you maybe as the last one. You think that's all right?
Yep.
That is not done. It's in progress. I'm not going to tell you shit about it. This fic is just called Tiger Stripes. I'm going to say Zerg and...
Booster.
Okay.
Zerg and Booster.
Sure.
Zerg and Booster fic called Tiger Stripes. Provide for us.
I'm trying to steer away from the stupid thing that my brain decided to go with, because it's not great. It's pretty bad.
I do want to know.
Oh, I don't think you do.
Never mind.
You can tell us after we record.
As soon as I hit the stop button, you can tell us.
Awesome. It was pretty bad. Okay, so this one is a rival fic, but it's like a really strange one. They're not fighting to the death. They're just having a prank war against each other. Just because, like, Booster's not the kind of person to, like, get into death battles, but he will pull some bullshit. And it ends in, like, a series of escalating pranks between the two that ends in somehow Booster saving the day from one of Zerg's terrible plans. And that is the fic.
I love that.
Amazing.
I love that.
Should we get back to the discussion of the real episode now?
Yeah.
So let's get back.
And then maybe one day one of these will become real.
Yeah.
We can discuss it then.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
anybody wants to take those ideas, by all means.
Make a reboot. Except don't.
Alright.
Okay. See you back in the episode.
See you back.
All right. Welcome back. What'd you think of the episode?
Another really good one. Another banger. Especially in the animation.
Mm-hmm.
And this was Jade Animation Skin, yeah?
Yeah, Jade Animation, also known as the people who animated The Adventure Begins.
Oh, yeah. Okay, awesome. That really explains because everything was, like, bouncy. There was a lot of very interesting angles. Lots of very fun shading, especially with, like, the Mira thing.
Yeah.
I enjoyed quite a bit that montage that they had where the team was looking for XR. They just had a bunch of fun shapes and stuff in the background as they were, like, and it was, like, a fun pan to the side as they did it.
Yeah, and all the background characters, which we know for a fact are from other character model sheets and stuff, like, because I saw characters who will show up much later in the series, just as background.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. Definitely, I think this is definitely one of the more top episodes that in my sort of, like, brain list of, like, episodes that I really, really like.
You would say it's in your top 10.
Yeah.
The joke is we watched 11 or 12 episodes, depending on if you count TAB as one or not.
So, what was it like coming back to the episode, y'all?
I hadn't seen it in a while. I forgot how good. I guess I never even like comprehended how good the animation was in this one.
Yeah, I had never registered how good the animation was. It's really good. It was so fun to come back to it because I like the plot on this one. I like that it's a sequel to another episode. It starts like bringing in continuity.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that they let XL talk a lot more in this one because Bobcat Goldthwait is killing it.
Excellent! This part is crucial to my work!
He is chewing the scenery. He is having fun with it.
And
They gave him several different takes to just laugh.
Are you going to do that for the whole trip? I don't know, probably.
and this, being an XR fan, I do appreciate that it is a very XR centric episode.
Yeah.
He gets a lot of good, screen time and dialogue. Gets to have emotions and also get drunk on screen.
Oh yeah, a lot of gags. Also, yeah, he does get drunk on screen. What is it with TV shows, especially in the 90s, that, like, if a robot is involved, then you can just make as many, like, thinly veiled adult jokes as possible?
I mean, that's the synopsis of, like, our entire thesis, is you can do anything you want in a children's cartoon as long as it's to a robot.
Yeah, it's what I call the Samurai Jack rule.
Oh, yes.
Like, it doesn't just apply to violence like it does in Samurai Jack, typically, but, like, to basically anything.
That's why they are allowed to have XR make sexual kind of jokes, allow them to, like, get drunk on the screen, because it's not actually alcohol, it's oil.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's not Victoria's Secret magazines, it's Victoria's Circuits. He'll comment on people in bikinis. He's a robot.
There's an episode later on where he'll just, like, he comes onto Mira and she has to try not to punch him while trying to call him a sexist robot pig. Or I think she actually says the line, sexist robot pig.
Yeah, I think she does actually call him that in some episode.
Yeah. No, I know which episode it is.
Okay,
Oh, wow.
I don't.
Yeah.
It's fine.
But yeah, no, he makes actual, like, you know, sexual comments and flirts and stuff, and he just does all the stuff that you wouldn't expect to see in a children's cartoon, or especially like on Disney's one, but he gets away with it because he's a robot.
Oh, yeah. The other thing I also really noticed is, like, there is a slight shift between, like, the first episode where XR showed up and this one. Because this one, he's a lot more Lucas Arts film kind of looking. He looks like he belongs in, like, a Sam and Max point-and-click adventure.
Did you say XR or XL?
XL.
Okay.
Yeah, the XL's gotten, his animation's gotten a little more loosey-goosey. Like, so has XR's, frankly, like, especially with Jade Animations. They're willing to give a lot more, like, wacky expressions, a lot more kind of, like, it's a little more shapy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the XL episode was done by a different animation studio.
There's definitely, like, more weight. It's not as floaty as, like, some of the more light episodes. So, yeah. But, like, especially there was something about this episode, and especially, like, XL's design that was much more Lucas Arts film sort of, like, animation style.
Yeah, it's really good. It's very, like, the expressions are good. You pointed out at one point, Alexander, that the lip flaps on Mira at one point were particularly good. It's got a little bit more style and pizzazz to it, especially on XL and XR, I think. Yeah. And XL, like we said, chewing the scenery, and he's got a looks to match.
So my question now is, like, since we have another XL episode, what was, like, the fandom vibe towards XL? Was he, like, loved, hated? Was he kind of just, like, a benign sort of one?
I can only speak for the fandom as I know it, which is, you know, after the series had already ended, so all the episodes were available. So by that point, since all the episodes were available, this includes episodes where character development stuff happens with XL, basically. A lot of the opinion on XL was he wasn't the main focus because of people's, like, love, because by the end of the series, he is literally a fax machine. But then later on, he started getting more notice because people started being like, well, actually, though, he makes a good character to put alongside Noseworthy 2 and XR, who are also fandom favorites. So if they had to justify putting him back in his big Frankenstein form, or otherwise just before that happens, just kind of like set things up then.
Oh, yeah.
He started getting more love as the fandom got older, basically.
Awesome.
My experience with him is he was never the forefront of anything that anybody worked on that I saw. He was I didn't never see him be, like, anybody's, like, big favorite. But he was very good character foil for Noseworthy 2 and XR, and he was popular to use as comic relief.
He also just didn't get a lot of fan art by nature of being so hard to draw.
I need to rectify that, especially in this episode. He looks great.
Oh, yeah.
He just has too many parts to him, and, you know, most people like to do, like, some symmetry in their art when possible.
Yeah.
That's fair. I don't know why. I kind of figured a lot of people, like, especially kids, would be so down for him because he has made a bunch of different parts. So, like, at least when I was a kid, seeing something like that is just like, that fucking rules. I want to make characters like that.
You do make characters like that.
I do.
If somebody had made, like, if they had made, like, an actual, like, toy for XL, or, like, more toys for XL, I don't know how many
They didn't make any.
If they had made him, like, having the, like, you can swap out which little gun part he's got on his arm would have been really fun.
Like,
oh, for sure.
Like, the thing is, my XR figure there, you can remove those guns. They could have done that kind of thing for him easily.
Yeah, I can imagine if it had blown up more, him being one of the big, like, Transformers, like, size, like, toys with the removable parts or the changing. Anyway, he would have made a great toy, and he's a cool design.
Damn it, they should have made him a toy.
A robot's rights watch?
He's just a robot!
Oh, you're one of those.
What's the fixer fucking doing?
Oh, yeah.
Like, to that one guy.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that guy
he was still alive.
Yeah, he was kind of stealing parts or otherwise just torturing a robot who was still alive. It goes uncommented upon.
Yeah, he just, like, while he's talking to XR, he just, like, picks up a robot, slams it on the table, and he doesn't appear to actually be doing anything. He's just, like, drilling against its head.
Well, it's like flailing in what I assume to be panic.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything. The indication that you get that it is alive or conscious is that it looks terrified in between whatever he's doing to it.
Yeah.
And then he just slams it back down. Whatever's going on with robots in this canon is so fucked up because they are sent to prison like normal people. XL talks about that, but they are also property enough that they can just sort of be passed around from like repair shop to part shop. It's kind of like the droids in Star Wars. They've got their own personality, maybe not that much free will, but...
Would this be then like a black market for organs then? That the
Awesome.
Fixers like...
I think that's the implication.
Yeah.
Like, it is trade world, so that's like...
Yeah.
If they
They do
so.
frequently equate robot parts to organs in the show.
Two things. One, again, as you just said, they equate robot parts to organs. They do just kind of ignore, like, the distress XR has about the fact an organ that he doesn't even know what it's for is missing. And the fact that he's convinced that, like, but what if I need this?
It's like if somebody stole your inferior vena cava and you're just like, what the fuck is that? Is it important? And everybody's like, don't worry about it.
Poor guy got his appendix stolen.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know what an appendix does, but he's just like, but I want to know. I want it back, though, don't I?
I mean, do you know what an appendix does?
No.
Exactly.
It's just who cares? Just keep doing your job. It's just like, what? Why?
What's going on?
And then the second thing I want to point out is Creffer Lorak, how he is introduced into the episode is XR like accidentally bumps into him and like immediately apologizes, and Creffer Lorak immediately just like robots or something.
Yeah, he's like stinking bots or something like that.
He said he makes a racial
Comment
on them.
My favorite, like,
oh no! I forgot about. Why did that get blocked from my brain?
you were being protected. my fucking, we're gonna get there eventually when we get to the Slayer. That is my favorite for Robot Rights Watch because all of the implications in that episode are insane.
Mm-hmm.
Robot Rights Watch on this one, fascinating. Of note, the Fixer is voiced by Ed Asner, very well-known actor. I think the thing that we would probably all know and that a lot of people know is he's Carl in Up.
Oh
Yeah.
Shit.
He is also, for some reason, one of the bosses in the Buzz Lightyear of Star Command video game.
Not Ed
This is-
Asner, the character.
The Fixer. This is the only episode he appears in. This is his whole thing. They had other villains!
They had other villains. I guess he had like a cool design.
I guess, but the thing is about Buzz Lightyear Star Command video game is that they also use a character who never has a speaking line and never is named as one of the villains.
I don't understand that video game.
Smeagol would have been a better choice in some instances.
Instead, they use like a random purple bounty hunter guy who we never like hear talk in the series.
Huh.
So, we want to talk about the Mira scene.
Yes. I want to know if this was a storyboard idea or if this was like the actual animator's idea of just making her leaning towards the Fixer, like with her hand out.
First
and
person
this-
from the Fixer's point of view.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a POV shot.
Mm-hmm.
of this like dramatic ass lighting and this kind of actually terrifying look on her face.
I have to say,
Whose idea was that?
I couldn't help but think this as, she was coming at the screen with her special lighting in her hand, also having special lighting of like, man, people with hand fetishes would go nuts for this scene.
Oh, you're one of those.
I was thinking, like, The Ring. She reaches out of the TV.
Oh my god.
But it's because they put so much detail on the lighting on her hand, I'm just like, oh man, that's a thing people with hand fetishes would go for.
Well, half of Mira's fans are of a particular flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they sit him. He won't tell. Like, immediately, he's like, I'm not gonna tell you where your stupid robot friend went. And they Booster holds him down in a desk chair, and she like leans over the desk, dramatic ass lighting, just reaches into the middle of his forehead.
He has weird stuff going on with his eyes too, as if he's hypnotized, which is why I'm like, is she forcing him to say this information, or is he just having a panic attack and saying stuff to get her out of there faster?
It could be a little both. Like, I don't know. If
'Cause,
somebody was turning my brains into noodle soup, I'd be like, okay,
she was still reading his mind, as because he didn't say everything out loud.
Mhm.
So she was still actively searching for information in there, but he was still also saying stuff, which is not like what we saw in Planet Destroyer when she was being taught how to get information out of people.
To be fair, in Planet Destroyer, they've been knocked unconscious.
Yes, but what I mean is...
Yeah, her, like, puppeting
Also-
his mouth or whatever.
Also, when she does it, the guy is not unconscious. You you hear him, like, make a little, like, weird little giggle about it.
Oh, gross. Yeah, I forgot about that. I blocked that out of my mind.
I'm sorry I have, like, a very good memory about the nuances and details of the show. By the way, I started working on the Blast Wiki again.
Yeah. And we have access to more canon info now, because we got those papers, the production materials. But, yeah.
Fucking terrifying. Why did they do that? Whose idea was that?
You know how Mira seems to be the one who does the most of the police violence stuff, other than, you know, the physical holding them down kind of thing?
Yeah.
That is a whole thing of, like, yeah, she can get away with that because she is a girl character.
She's also a princess.
She's a princess girl character, so she can get away with the whole invasion of privacy and threatening to scramble people's brains because she's doing it specifically to guys. And, you know, it'd be okay for a lady to do it to a guy, but not a guy to do it to a lady.
Yeah. Maybe. At least she seems a lot less threatening than if, like, Buzz were doing it.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
Sure.
Just, like, it's a whole perception of, like, yeah, because she's a girl. Because,
Yeah.
like, imagine if Buzz was the Tenji instead and he had those powers.
Yeah.
Like, no one would like that show.
It wouldn't read as well.
Oh, yeah.
No. So...
But yeah, no, you're right. They're actually letting her use, like, her powers. They have been putting, like, a very scary, like, spin on it, though. That was... I am realizing that, like, huh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, we're gonna get into some of the fucked up, like, Tenji and shit that's, you know, just goes on because they are royalty and therefore they think that they can do this stuff.
Yeah, in, like, a couple of episodes from now.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, Mira's characterization is so interesting to me on this rewatch. Just what they've been doing with her and her powers and getting into a more, like, detailed thing of, like, oh yeah, she is the bastard cop who's
Like-
got, like, political immunity and all this other shit.
She is morally good, but because we are adults now and have more knowledge about the world and, like, what happens in the world, we are more keen on paying attention to it when it appears in a cartoon.
Yeah, she's morally good within the context of the show. She's an interesting character outside of that stuff. Like, she's quirky and, like, you
Insecure.
know, she's quirky and insecure. And I think she's really well written, especially for a girl character from the 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
But they're also like, what if our blue space princess was a cop and she was so fucked up about it with her magic brain powers?
What if she was fucking terrifying?
Yeah.
2 seconds.
Thing is, she is a lot like Buzz.
She really, really is.
The whole thing about her having these powers and also being princess and stuff. If Buzz was in that situation, he'd be using that too. He would not be, but he would still be like, "Oh, I'm on the side of good, so it's okay that I do this," which is why he's encouraging it.
Yeah. No, they are extremely similar characters, just in, like, their general attitude. And just, you know, clearly she's a lot younger than him and stuff. And I think that's also really interesting this watch through.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's not something I'd ever, like, read a lot into.
Yeah, Buzz is like 40.
Yeah. Buzz is, like, 40. The Rickies are, like, in their 20s. You
Except
know?
for XR, who's like 2.
Yeah. XR, who's he's 2 blinks old.
But he has the personality of, like, a 45-year-old car salesman.
Yeah.
But he's also very stupid, as we see in this episode, in regards to, like, the ways the world works.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's-
45-year-old car salesman.
No, I just mean, like...
He's clearly not paying attention to what he's doing.
No. I mean specifically Comfort Lorak trying to scam him and like explaining like what the bit is and how to do it, and XR just being like,
Oh, I know the game, my friend. I think you can bet on me knowing the game. If there's a game, I know it.
just like, are you even a cop? And just hands him all the money, and he's just like,
This is supposed to be a process, a back and forth. You take all the fun out of being a stool pigeon.
Yeah, thanks to the cash anyway, bye.
considering how skeezy XR sometimes appears to be, it's very fun what he lacks information on in regards to being skeezy.
He wants to be like a little scammer. He wants to be street smart so bad, and he talks the talk. He's not good at it when other people are involved, especially people who actually have experience with it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that's actually very interesting. I didn't notice that.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
because you know, like, he snuck in all those kids back in Little Secrets.
True.
There's a whole thing about like how he's hosting unregulated poker nights at Star Command in a later episode.
Yeah. And he's just so bad at it.
And then meanwhile, you know, he just meets a guy on Trade World who is just like, yeah, here's how we do the scamming. I ask for a little bit of money, and you give me some, and I give you some information. I need some more, and then you give me more, and then XR's just like, here's a huge wad of cash. Just tell me what I need to know, and
Here's all the money I have except for pocket change.
Mm-hmm. And just, how do you not know this already? Because he has to pretend that he knows what Comfortable Rex is talking about in the first place.
It's fascinating. Like, the characterization in this particular episode of basically everybody is so neat. Like, Buzz and his clueless optimism.
Mm-hmm.
Booster, like, permission to swivel your head around, sir. You know, Mira doing her scary ass thing. XL, like, getting to talk a lot more. There was a lot of really, really good, funny lines in this episode, I think. If you guys have any favorites.
I remember Commander Nebula at the end saying a very funny line about, like, what he thinks XR smells like, but I don't remember what the line was specifically.
Yeah, it's like, you smell like a basket of roses or something.
Yeah, like that, something like that.
Just like the general, like the beginning line. Oh yeah, how you been?
Yeah,
yeah, that one's very good.
That one's so good. The like, for some reason, I'm like, a lot of lines stuck in my head this watch. The like XL being like, oh, you know what I learned in prison, and XR just going like, oh, you know that like chocolate bars are worth just as much as money in prison, and and he's just like, no. Their little scream off.
Scream and laugh, scream and laugh.
Yeah.
The little fight that they have about whether or not it's a G-force trainer or a centrifugator.
Yeah.
Like a lot of their like interactions, XR and XL's interactions are just peak like sibling behavior. It's really
so
good.
good.
They really got it down. These two
like, nuh-uh.
these two are brothers. They known each other for like 5 minutes in person.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, so how have you been?
Yeah.
I've been in prison. What about you?
And the one that we had to rewind to make sure Toby saw.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's not a single person on Star Command who knows what's going on inside me right now. And then XR's chest pops open and an LGM runs out and he's like, except for maybe that guy.
Yeah.
I just wanted to point out, the AFD was an XR because he smelled bad. It does not, like, have a place to fit into XL because it didn't need to because he doesn't smell bad.
Oh yeah, he just duct taped it in.
He duct taped it in there.
He duct taped it in there, and when he finds out what it is, he, like, pulls it out, breaks it with his hand. He's just like, I wonder what that flowery, fresh scent was or whatever. It just, like, explodes in his face. This episode's so good.
It's such a good episode.
It is very good. It's, like, one of the better ones. I just hadn't seen it in a while, so I forgot how good it was.
Yeah, no, I had a lot of fun with this episode.
For sure. Any final thoughts or anything?
We're watching Lost in Time next time, and I really like that episode.
Ooh.
Is that the one with XR and the mustache?
Yes.
What? What? Okay.
You'll see next week.
All right.
Hello, this is editor Alexander again. This time, we just forgot to say where to find us on social media, so I'm just going to copy-paste the information from the last episode and put that here instead. Whoops! Also be sure to email any fandom information or comments or anything else you would like to mercurymelyt@gmail.com.
You can find me as Python Melon on Blue Sky and Ko-fi.
You can find me on Blue Sky at Toby Langley. You can also find me on Ko-fi at Tobi Jam. I'm open for commissions.
Don't find me, but follow us on YouTube at our Mercury Melon channel and support us on Patreon, also Mercury Melon. So, I guess especially in this one, the thing that we like to say at the end of episodes rings true, like looking at Mira. So,
All space cops are bastards. Ace Gab.
Ace Gab.
Bye.
See you next time.
Bye.